everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another apartment renovation. Today I am renovating Stonestreet Apartments number 3, which is in the world of Evergreen Harbor, which comes with the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack. And this is going to be an apartment for a sim who really likes to go thrifting. I've done this concept a bunch of times in the past, and I generally will do that in San Myshuno, and I really theme it around the idea of going to the flea market and getting a bunch of finds there. A little bit mismatched, maybe vintage eclectic, that sort of idea. But I wanted to go for a different idea this time, but the same general concept, and I've had a lot of suggestions from y'all to do a Thriftcore apartment, and I decided we'd do that with a spin. So this is for a sim who loves going thrifting, going to consignment shops, thrift stores, flea markets, and getting items and upscaling them and like customizing them, doing a little bit of DIY. That goes for their interior space as well as their clothing, and they've turned it into a bit of a business. So what I wanted to do with this apartment is have it so the built-in furniture is modern and fits the aesthetic of this world, but all of their other furniture pieces, to some extent, you can see that it was used or customized in some way. And there's a lot of clutter, and I love how this apartment came out. It's very colorful, and I have a lot of like bright colors and pastels, and I just think it came out really cute in the end. I really do hope you enjoy it. If you do, I will make sure to have this up on the gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag Miss Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So I played around with the wallpapers in this room, as well as like the cabinetry and countertops. I actually do swap them out for these ones from Parenthood instead. But I love the pink fridge I went with. That was something that I very quickly decided on, and it needed to stay. But I do think that the Parenthood cabinetry added a lot more personality to the space. I do change the color of it a few different times because I did want the upper heads and the lower heads, or the lower cabinets, to be different colors. I thought that that looked cool, and I also really love the table that I'm using in here, which is from Werewolves. I think it's such a cute detail that it's being propped up by a book on one of the corners. One of the legs is a little bit too short. I really liked that. And so here I'm trying different swatches. I think I do go with this light wood in the end, but I did try a white as well. And just getting a chalkboard in here. I also get a corkboard that I fill up with all these postcards. I just thought that that was really cute. And I love the big window that we have here in the kitchen. Of course, this is the modernized version of this apartment. If you're not familiar, the apartments in Eco Lifestyle, you can actually modernize, and they change the windows and the doors of the entire building through the neighborhood action plans, or NAPs. And so this is the modern development in, I think this is Grimm's Quarry, because there's a couple different spots. There's this one, and then there is, Conifer Station. But I'm pretty sure this apartment is in Grimm's Quarry. Anyway, I also put this little cabinet piece over by the door, which I thought was so cute, to store like some tablecloths and stuff in. And then I'm using tulle and the red shelf to place some things in this window, so don't mind me trying to do that. I'm really bad with tulle, even though I use it pretty frequently. I've been asked every time I use it in a build if I could do a tutorial on it, and I don't feel confident doing that because I barely know what I'm doing. But there are some really good tulle tutorials on YouTube, particularly by the person that created them, which is Twisted Mexi. I would definitely recommend checking out their channel and seeing those tutorials. They're very helpful. Not only on installing it, but using it and different ways to use it. It's a really cool mod, but you definitely do not need to have the tool mod to download my builds. I would recommend you always put the Move Objects cheat on before placing any of my builds or anyone's off the gallery, though. But anyway, I'm just getting some more clutter over here. I was thinking they have a couple of different statues we got from thrift stores. I also particularly had wanted that little cabinet there because you can see like the paint is coming off of it, and I just think it's such a pretty piece. And I could see this sim finding that at a consignment shop and bringing it home and just giving it new life in this space. We also have a little bit of a worn down carpet from the Werewolves pack, and I paired it with this couch from High School Years, which is obviously a very modern new couch, but potentially maybe the pillows and the blanket and stuff were all thrifted. I really wanted this pastel-y, colorful vibe in here, but I wanted it to still feel like it was a thrifty space, if that makes sense. It's definitely a different way than I've gone about it in the past, so I think it's refreshing to change up how you approach a concept that you've tackled before. So anyway, just trying to match some of the wood tones. I have a lot of them going on in here. And I think when you have like a few of them, but you consistently use them all throughout the space, it looks really nice. I was quite happy with how I did that. Oh, and then over here, I tried to make it look like there was an open door leading into the hallway. I just thought it looked kind of fun like that. So if you don't like that, that's an easy thing to delete. You can just delete the door. But I am going to be getting some more like plants and stuff over here. And we're going to have a little TV area. This corner cabinet from Get Famous, I think, is so pretty. I really wish it didn't have the vase on it, or that the vase was a separate item, but it is a cute piece I often forget we have, so it was nice to go ahead and use that in this space. And then just using this base game table that has a runner on it that matches the color scheme I was going for in here, and scaling up the TV from Eco Lifestyle, which is the pack this apartment comes with. So yeah. And then over on the other side of the living room, we should be getting to that shortly. There's going to be like an office space, sort of. And then this is a 2-bedroom apartment, but I don't decorate the second bedroom as a bedroom. You'll see a little bit later. It's actually storage/workshop space for this Sims business of upscaling furniture and clothing. I think it looks so cool. I also needed to include some sort of wicker furniture, like what we got from high school years in here, as that is so popular in this sort of apartment. So definitely had to have that. And then I was trying to figure out which desk to use, because I wanted something that was a little bit older in style that could fit a lot of clutter in it and fit the vibes I was going for. So I opted for this one from Werewolves, and I also have like a library cart next to it. That was a suggestion from chat. I did stream this over on Twitch first. And speaking of which, if you would like to join us, I have been streaming so much more often lately, and it's so fun to talk to y'all live and like play The Sims together. So if you'd like to follow me, I am live on twitch.tv/Miss Gryphi on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So anyway, just adding some more clutter over here on the coffee table. I have a little basket and a little statue thing that kind of looks like Jack's. I think it's quite cute. And then we're moving on into the bathroom, and I thought that this shower curtain from Parenthood was perfect. It's just so bright and colorful. Maybe the Sim painted that on there themselves. I really liked that idea. Or maybe use like fabric markers, and then just try to add some more personality in the space with like potentially this thrifted side table that has the paint chipping off of it. And I also painted the walls in here as well. I did just swatch a couple of different times, so I'm not sure if this is the one I end up with in the end, but I thought it was really pretty. I love this wallpaper from the Paranormal Stuff pack. And I also added some funky paintings throughout. So we have a Sim playing piano here in the bathroom, and then in the living room we have jazz cats. I just thought having some of the fun paintings would be cute. I feel like I always see paintings with like big bulky frames at thrift stores, so I wanted to incorporate that into this build, and I just love the style of this. Like I said, it's a lot different than the other sort of thrifty builds I've done. I feel like they're always like vintage eclectic, but this one is a little bit more of a modern take on it, and I'm really glad it turned this way because I wasn't sure what I was going to go for, because I've done that particular concept so many times before, so it was really fun. Anyway, this is going to be the primary bedroom, the only bedroom. The other one is going to be that studio space I had mentioned. So just trying to figure out the curtains. At first I was going to use these same ones from base game that I was using throughout the rest of the house, but they weren't really working in here, so I did end up going with a more modern curtain in here, which is, of course, these modular ones that we got from the Desert Luxe kit, and I think they look nice. They're definitely a more updated piece, but maybe the Sim could have made them, or maybe not every item in this apartment has to be thrifted, but I thought that they looked nice in here. And then we're just getting some mismatching bedside tables, one from Snowy Escape and one from Parenthood, and figuring out some lamps and colors. And I definitely wanted to use this wardrobe over in the corner, which I think is for movie hangout stuff. I've just always really loved the like carved flowers and stuff on it. There's some really bright versions, but there's 2 neutral versions, and this one matched the bed really nicely. So I decided to put that in here, and then just getting a mirror and stuff over here and figuring out what to put in the corner. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, I have everything I need in this bedroom. I don't know what I'm doing in the next bedroom yet, but I don't know what else to put in here. So playing around with that, ended up putting this little hand sculpture as like a place to put your rings and things like that. And then I also got this seat, which I thought was so perfect for this space, and brought in some more of those bright colors that I had throughout the rest of the apartment. And I really think just placing that in here and changing some of the wood tones helped tremendously, because I was a little stuck and it was feeling a bit washed out in here compared to the rest of the space, which is so rich of color and I guess warm wood tones. So I was glad that I made the decision to bring in that love seat and take some of the colors from that space. It really, really helped. So then I'm still stuck with what to put in this corner. So I ended up putting a built-in wardrobe over here. And then my chat was saying, why don't you put some actual wardrobes? We have the one from like Moschino. We have one from Get Famous. There's a bunch of different ones. There's the ones from high school years. So I did put a high school years one over here and picked out some of the clothes and put some shoes on the bottom shelf. The shoes are from Dream Home Decorator. And then that's when we decided the other bedroom was going to be like a studio space. So I ended up putting a bunch of clothes in here. At first I thought about putting a keyboard, but we didn't end up keeping that in the end. It was kind of a figuring it out stage at this point. But I do end up putting the clothing racks that actually came with Thrifty in here. I know right now I'm grabbing a Get Famous one, but there's some clothing racks that came with the thrift store that I actually built, by the way, which I think is so cool, and I still can't believe that, for high school years. So I put those in here because they're already filled with clothes. They have some really pretty colors, and it felt appropriate for this concept. I feel like these look like a lot of the clothing racks you might see behind an influencer in their videos if they're talking about fashion. So I was thinking a sim who likes to upscale stuff and has their own like little studio space, this was a perfect spot for that. And because of the concept, I also used the dresser or the desk piece that came with the Nifty Knitting stuff pack. I thought it was so perfect how it's a big square in the middle. It has all the crafting supplies and the pretty colors. I loved this room, and I don't use that desk very often. So I thought it was a really nice opportunity to do just that. And then just getting some curtains in here. I was thinking they probably customized those themselves, adding the beads onto them. Those are from Paranormal as well. And they're just so pretty. There's so many beautiful items in this pack, or in this game, not in this pack. But I felt like I got to use a lot of the more fun items in this build because of all the like extra frills and things the sim might have added to them. So I also got a knitting basket over here for more craft supplies, and also it's a skill building item your sims can use. We do have a calendar, the pegboard with all of the different like paints and yarn, and I get a bunch more craft supplies on the table. There's a few things that actually came with high school years, like this cutting mat and a bunch of other little crafty pieces. I thought it was so cool, the clutter that we got with that expansion pack. And of course I got a little rolly wheel thing over here. What is that called? A cart. And I thought this could be their company logo up on the wall. And then that's pretty much it for this build. Just getting a couple more decorations, and then we'll be heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I had a blast decorating this apartment. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy those screenshots, and I will see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.